Well, thanks for joining me again. Today, I want to pick your brain a little bit about marketing for nonprofits. I feel like you've done insanely well as far as your social media goes. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain about a few of the different things that nonprofits could be doing like right now to up their game and hopefully tell their story a little bit better. I believe most nonprofits believe in their mission and they believe that it should sell itself because it's a good cause. And you've proven that it's not enough. What's the biggest mistake nonprofits make when trying to get attention?
I think the first big mistake people make with a nonprofit is people should just support it because it's doing good. And people should just support it because I'm doing a good work. And your ego, again, will beat you up when you start the nonprofit. It's just like everybody should support just because I'm helping kids and I'm getting glasses for kids who don't have them. And that's great that your nonprofit is doing a great job. But people have to know about said nonprofit that's doing a great job. You can't just make one post and think the whole world's supposed to see it or this is going to go viral. No, first of all, let's take a second and look at what it is that people that are in your niche are doing. You're not the only person with your type of nonprofit. You're just not. So the best idea is to go look at some popular ones online and say, okay, oh, this is what they're doing. Let me try doing it, their way because, nothing new under the sun. And what's going to help you with that? So again, it's swallowing your ego and saying, okay, yeah, I got a good nonprofit, but people have to want to support said nonprofit. So how do I get people to do that? Social media is probably the greatest place, for you to be able to market your nonprofit. Most people are looking to give to nonprofits and share wealth with nonprofits, but they have to know about it. Yeah. And so how do people know about it? Utilizing social media and not just utilizing it. Sometimes you may have to pay for ads and you have to use hashtags, go interact with people on social media. People don't take it serious enough. That is an actual job to the point where I have staff now that manage the social media. You have to have it. It's literally a part of everybody's paycheck because we have to get donors. We don't receive any government grants. We haven't got any grants from the government at all for our organization. It's only been regular people who give. And how are we able to support the whole nonprofit by doing that? By posting what we're doing. And everything remains free. Everything you've seen from us, whether that be tables, chairs, TVs we got, pencils, etc. Somebody donated it. Our Amazon wish list is always getting bought up because people are seeing what we're doing on social media. So again, the idea for us is to say, okay, because for example, there's one guy, he asked me for advice on utilizing social media. Cool. I gave him advice. And I also sent him some reviews from some people that were, watching his content, for me. I'm like, hey, this guy wants some advice. He gives the advice, to the guy. We get maybe I sent him a couple screenshots of what everybody was saying. He didn't like it. Oh, well, they must not know about my industry and they don't, they aren't whatever. Who are they? And this and that. I'm like, dude. These are people that are watching your content. You cannot tell people what they should want to like. Yeah. If your content is not doing good, then it's not good enough. And that's just being honest. We do the same thing. If we put out videos and it's not getting any likes, okay, that was trash. We can't do that type of content anymore. Maybe we should do something different with that. Yeah. If I see something that's constantly going viral or doing good, I'm going to stay there. If you like, for example, the guy had one video on his page that did great. He did no other videos like that. I'm like, dude, do the video like people want to see it. Like, so again, don't come asking for the advice if you don't actually want to take it. If your ego is too big, you're never going to survive, in business, nonprofit, whatever. You got to swallow your ego and do what people want to see. For example, I remember the first time we went mega viral at one of our workshops. I'll never forget, a friend of mine was just happened to be at the workshop with us that day. We had the cameras out there and everything. But he did a cell phone video. Like, he just recorded a 20-second cell phone video. I decided to just post it as like a teaser or whatever. I was telling the kids about the brake pads or whatever. Like, I just decided to post it as a teaser. I wake up, the video has gone mega viral all online, everywhere. It's on all the pages. It's everywhere. I've done interviews for it, whatever. It's all over everywhere. This little 20-second video that he did on his phone. I called my videographers. I said, hey, bruh. We're going to do these same workshops. We're going to do them with cell phone video. We had 6, 7, 8, 9 videos after that go viral because people wanted to see the authentic looking guy outside with me working with the kids. That's actually what's happening. They don't want to see the produced looking stuff. They want to see that cell phone video with no edits, nothing, just that raw video. And so every time we post one of those videos, it goes viral every single time. So we're doing what people want to see. I could have said, no, they need to be watching this content with the cameras and stuff. They need to want to watch. No, you need to do what people want to see because that's what made people start giving. They're like, no, we want to see this type of content. Great. You got it. The customer's always right. So this is who's giving. So we're going to do exactly what they want to see. That's your marketing. What do people like? And so then once we did start using the cameras again, we started formatting it in a way where it seemed like the cell phone again. So now we still shoot all of our videos on the professional cameras now, but we also know how to make it look like it's a natural video because we changed our editing up. So we had to fix what it is that we were doing to the point now where anytime I post me and my son, we go viral. We were on SportsCenter twice, for 2 of the videos we were doing with baseball or whatever. But that's because we were catching the content and doing exactly what the followers want to see or whatever. And people like to see raw stuff. They don't want to see stuff that looks rehearsed or looks done. They want to see the raw reactions from my son. They want to see my raw, getting on to him. They want to see me like doing. So anytime you've ever seen like any viral content of me and my son, it has truly just been a raw moment. From the crying, from me getting on to him. We'll snap out of like re-recording mode and like I'm in real mode right now. And so whenever I posted those videos of him naturally asking me a question or naturally he's just in the zone with me, they go viral because people want to see that raw moment with dad and son. So that's what we do. That's the content we put out with me and my son. Or when I'm doing political content. People don't like to see me do content like on the cameras for when I'm talking about political stuff. They want to see me do a cell phone video going off on folks. Cool. Fine, that's what you get. So whenever I'm in the mood and I want to talk about things that's happening in the city of Albany, etc., those videos get 17,000, 18,000 likes. I just put the phone in front of my face and I just start going off. And I put a couple captions on there, post a video up. Goes crazy or whatever. So I've watched what people want to see, and so I started doing that or whatever. And I have my own little niche now to the point where I have all different kinds of people following me now. I have baseball enthusiasts following me now. I have boxing enthusiasts following me now. I have workout enthusiasts following me because I started posting my workout videos. I'm about to start doing WWE videos because I'm a big WWE fan. I'm about to start doing those videos because I've been paying to go to the matches, for years now, but I'm watching them as I'm there. They've been inviting influencers. I'm like, I got more followers than that guy. Oh, absolutely. Don't worry about it. They've been paying for them to come to the shows and be backstage. I'm like, I want to do that. I'm not going to keep paying for this. So in the next couple of weeks around WrestleMania time, you're going to start seeing me doing reaction videos to wrestling or whatever. And they're going to see it and I'm going to get invited because that's what I want to do. But it also gets you paid. Social media will help support your nonprofits too because you get paid for people watching your videos. And not only that, people will donate to your causes if they see it and they like it. And you have to use every social media platform. You cannot be around here with any business or nonprofit and not utilizing social media to the biggest, to its full potential. Social media is the place to be at with your nonprofit, and people are going to see it, but you have to be able to swallow your ego and say, okay, I don't know everything. Let me figure out what it is that's going to get people to want to see it. Because who are you? Show them who you are.
You want to do more to impact the world around you, but between work, family, and everything else on your plate, finding the time or even knowing where to start feels impossible. You give when you can, you serve when life allows, but deep down you wonder, is it enough? At 1334 Media, we believe your generosity doesn't have to be complicated. From planting churches in Thailand, helping orphanages in India, and even serving alongside our partners locally in South Georgia, every dollar you give helps another nonprofit tell their story, connect with supporters, and make a real impact. Your support fuels life-changing media and training that brings hope, awareness, and resources to causes that matter. These stories can't make a difference if they aren't heard. Join us today because doing more doesn't have to mean doing it alone. A lot of nonprofits struggle with getting people to care about their work. You focus on showing rather than telling, like with your son. So why do you think that the raw, unfiltered moments are much more powerful than anything polished?
Because I think it's more, people relate to it a little bit more because they almost start seeing themselves in that kid. Oh, I wish I would have had that with my dad. Oh, I wish I could have seen my dad father me in that way. So it almost triggers them to a point to like, man, like, I applaud what you're doing with your son because my dad wasn't there. Or I'll have dad say, I'm doing the same thing with my son and people talk about it, but you have given me inspiration to keep raising my son how I am because I see that you're doing a good job with your son. So thank you for showing me that I'm doing a great job with my son. You've inspired me to be a better dad. So I'm watching the comments, I'm watching what people are saying, and they are loving the raw moments because it's either helping them, It's either triggering them. It's either, it's doing something to them. You want to make them react. And so what's making them react is those raw moments with my students, those raw moments with my son, because a lot of them were missing their dad, or they wish they had that for their son, or my son's dad's not in his life. And I'm watching these videos and I'm showing these videos to my kids because I want them to see that, this is how a man's supposed to be. I've had so many moms send DMs like, oh man, I'm showing my sons these videos, or my son just had a child and I send him your videos every day. So when people get mad, like, why you got to post everything with your son, blah, blah, I'm inspiring people all over the country, all over the world, even right here in Albany. I'll just see somebody at Walmart. They like, hey man, like the other day I was at the basketball game for community activists or whatever like that, and had fun there. I had just this random dude come up to me. I had no clue who he was. He was like, he just came and gave me a hug. He's just like, man, you have no idea how much you have inspired me, like, in this city to keep doing what I'm doing with my own kids. Like, you just don't ever stop doing what you're doing. You don't know who you touching through social media. Your nonprofit could be inspiring somebody somewhere else, and that's what has happened. I've help other people start movements that I've never met because they saw what we're doing right here in Albany. People who have never heard about Albany have seen Albany because of what we're doing, have heard about Albany because of what we're doing, or even tying Albany to us by utilizing social media. And it's very important to share what it is that you're doing. So some people get mad, like, oh, you got to share everything you're doing. Sure, I am, but we're inspiring people, and that's why our program is able to remain free. And they'll use the thing and say, oh, well, you must be a sellout or something like that because people are donating. I'm like, actually, I get to do exactly what it is that we want to do with the program because we don't have any government funding. You, on the other hand, have gotten 5 or 6 or 7 grants from the government, and you have to scratch where you don't itch, and you have to dance when you don't like the music. Yeah. I don't have to do that. I can do exactly what I want to do, say what I want to say, and teach my kids exactly how I want to teach them without anybody snooping around or trying to tell us what we can and can't say to the kids. We want to raise our kids to be real, well-rounded men, and we don't have anybody breathing down our backs telling us what to do. Yeah. So that's why it's important to, again, try to keep your nonprofit funded exclusively by people, because as soon as you start getting the government involved, that's when you can't do what you want to do.
Yeah. Many nonprofit leaders struggle with asking for money. I know I do personally.
Me too, yeah.
I don't know, it feels wrong almost.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, you want to give me $5 a month, please?
Yeah, yeah.
It just feels weird and wrong. But with that said, how would you reframe fundraising? How would you make it an opportunity instead of like a request?
So the ask has to be different. It's something I've had to learn too, because I'm the same way. I don't be want to ask nobody for no money, man. Like, it's weird. But I've understood that gas station right there with that 267 up there is doing what? Asking you for money. Yep. Does whatever this cup right here, it says Morning Cafe. What is Morning Cafe doing with this advertisement? They're asking me for money. Yep. So, or my shirt that I have on in the collar, it has the brand name right there. What are they doing? Asking for more money. So at a point, we have to figure out, how do we ask without asking? Can you commit to helping me? Can you commit to me helping these kids here in the city of Albany? They know what I want, but I'm not saying I want money directly. Yeah. Can you commit to giving twice a month to make sure these kids have underwear? Can you commit to giving to make sure our deodorant is filled so we can keep sending the kids home with deodorant? Can you commit to making sure that we're able to aid the moms in parenting their kids? Can you commit to making sure that our tutors are able to get paid for tutoring the kids? So you have to ask in a different way. Instead of saying, hey, let me get $5 a month, tell them what it's for. Yeah. Can you commit to making sure we have Kleenex every month? Simple as that. And so that way, I'm not asking for money. I'm asking you for something. Yeah. And that's why we also have an Amazon wish list too, because it allows people to give something directly, like buying us tables or chairs or crayons or pencils. So we have an Amazon wish list, so they're not giving money directly. They're just giving something, in return. And of course, sending thank you letters, et cetera, as much as possible helps aid with that. And I know a lot of us don't have the software. I don't even have the software for that yet, trying to make sure we send everybody a thank you and keeping up with everybody's donation. Yeah. It's hard to do that stuff. Those are well-oiled machines. We're not even that yet. Like, I mean, we're doing decent, but we not a well-oiled machine like that we're trying to create. But it's important for you to make sure you're watching those things. If we are, that'll help you succeed.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good way to put it, because so 1334 exists to create free media for other nonprofits. Mm-hmm. And every time I've tried to raise money, like for Thailand, we ended up raising $9,000 in 3 months. Mm-hmm. And that was the most we'd ever raised in the shortest amount of time too. And all I said was, there's a missionary in Thailand, and he needs media done. We're going to go tell his story. People started donating. I realized, actually kind of got the inspiration from you because you were saying, hey, we need the school fixed. Just give to that. I think you did something about like security cameras on a building or something. And you were like, just give towards this. And I was like, well, maybe that's just what I need to do. Put it towards that way. I don't know why I didn't make the connection to like make it about the mission as well. As short and as tiny as possible. Can you commit to this?
You have to change the ask. And then also for those people who aren't able to give a lot, because some people will get intimidated by people that give big money. And I'm like, okay, look, we need pencils. Can you give us $1 to buy that pack of pencils or whatever? So I don't ask for $1 directly. I'm like, hey, can you commit to buying us some pencils to make sure we got pencils for the year? That can give $20 toward that. So people want to still feel a part of it. So when you grow your movement, for one, there are people who want to see it start. So there are people who want to say, I was the first investor to that. I remember our first big donor. We're still great to this day. But he loves to be able to say, I was the first person to ever really give to the Extra Boys program down in Albany. He's from Texas or whatever, but he was our first 4-figure donation. And he was like, he loves to say that he, helped start this thing. People love to be a part of something. And so it's hard for them, and no shade to them, but the people have a hard time, St. Jude and et cetera, because it doesn't seem the same because they're so big and they're everywhere and people have seen it. But there's this local nonprofit that I helped get off the ground down in this small town called Albany, Georgia. They want to assist with that. Or when we, are showing videos of the progress of the construction on the building, there are people like, hey, I bought that can of paint. Or I bought those desks in there. Or I bought those shirts y'all are wearing. People love to say that because it gives them the pat on the back. Or, when I share online, I'm like, hey, thanks to this person for donating to give us washing powder for the parents to be able to wash clothes at home. And so when other people see me giving shout outs like that, they're like, oh, I want one too. Let me go buy some glasses, for some kids off of there. And so he can give me a shout out too or whatever. So it's making people feel like they're here too. So when they see our kids, doing the workshops, oh, I bought those tools. Oh my God, I love that so much. And they get to see it. They don't get to see their donation with St. Jude or they don't get to see their donation with the major nonprofits. People are slowly trickling down to want to get to the smaller nonprofits because they get to see their donation in action. That's what people want to see. They want to be a part of something.
And I think actually showing people that too, like that's where social media comes in. Like actually showing what the money's actually doing. Like, that's why I'm posting so much Thailand stuff, and I'm posting like all the podcasts because we're completely donor funded. We're doing this with equipment that's donated. We're doing it in time that's donated. Like everything's donated, and that's why I'm posting so much on like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, is because I need to show people like when you're donating. We have one person that donates $10 a month. Like every time you're donating, it's going towards this right here. It's going towards getting someone else's story out. Right. Like when this comes out, the podcast will already be aired, but we just did a podcast with Free Indeed. They're a anti-human trafficking organization here in town. They started like halfway through last year doing what they were doing. But they ended up saving 24 individuals out of human trafficking. Just within last year.
So then the question becomes, how can we tell those stories?
Exactly.
And, speaking of human trafficking, it's a huge, section online of people who are like huge about funding that, huge about sharing that, huge about, advocating for that. So, okay, cool. How do we find that niche? So small things to do, especially for those social media pages who haven't been built yet. One thing you want to do is social media networking. Go find other organizations that are doing the same thing. Go comment on their posts, etc. Hey, our organization is doing that, and we would love to partner or whatever. Thank you for doing this where you are or whatever. Like those are small things to do. And spend an hour, just like you would for anything else. Spend an hour on social media on those hashtags. On purpose. Go on those human trafficking hashtags and go find all the posts on there and like comment on them, talk about it or whatever. That's how you slowly start to gain followers that are following your mission. But again, stuff can happen organically, and sometimes you may have to pay an influencer or two. We had to do that in the beginning. I had, save some money up to go, find a popular influencer. I'm like, hey, that I knew was in my niche. Another thing we'll do is when we pay influencers, we'll just pick any influencer with a lot of followers. You have to pick people that are within the realm of things that you're doing. I can't just pay Cardi B to share my thing. Nobody's following her that cares about the kids. Like they care about music or whatever. So I would find some, major CEO from some major nonprofit that are, selling slots on Instagram or Facebook to share what you're doing. Then that's how you get started. For example, Zuby Music. He's a big supporter of ours now. I reached out to him originally to just share one of our things. I paid him to share just retweet one of our posts, and it got some traction. But he had never heard of me. But he saw it and he was like, listen, you ain't never got to pay me again to retweet. No, you just send it to me because what you're doing is important. So he's one of the first influencers to really show what I was doing. He started sharing pocket. But if I hadn't reached out to him to pay, for that slot, I would have never gotten those followers from him or that buzz from him. So again, you have to spend some real time on socials digging into how it works. And I promise you it's 1,000 YouTube videos to show you how to do that.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. So if a nonprofit is struggling financially and doesn't know what to do next, what's the first step you would tell them to do?
For one, I guess it would depend on where the need is. Where are you looking for funding from? And on top of that, you start with your local businesses. Local businesses are open to helping your causes, trying to figure out how you can get them to sponsor. Find your local chamber of commerce wherever you are, and try and join them as much as possible so you can network and interact with your local businesses, etc. The networking at that point is your best friend when you have no money. Yeah. And on top of that, shoot, you got to fund it yourself for a little bit. I tell people all the time, sometimes getting a job ain't just to have a job. Sometimes you use it to fund what you're doing. For example, my son's dreams may not to be a boxer or may not to be the greatest baseball player of all time, but we can utilize those avenues to fund your dream that you actually have. Yeah. So, for example, I use boxing like the military. You could start boxing at 17, 18, be pro for a little while and, win a couple purses. And then you could, by the time you finish, boxing, or you maybe have 20, 30 fights by the time you turn 30. Win or lose, you've made money from them. So now you've made a couple $1 million already or whatever. You didn't have to be popular yet, but now you can use that money before you even turn 30 to go support your actual dream. So you can use it like the military. Go fight your way, through life or whatever like that, quote unquote, and you can make the money to fund your actual dream. Or go work that 9 to 5. You may be qualified for something. Like I got a forklift license or whatever. If I came down to hard times for real, I would just go find somebody's forklift to drive for a little while and fund whatever new venture I got going on. Yeah. And you might have to do that for a little while. So you may have to do it for a year or two. You might go to flip burgers for a little while, but as long as you're saving that money up to go buy the equipment you need or pay for that class you need to take or whatever like that, do it. Some people just, again, want everything in a microwave and don't want to work for it. Like sometimes it's going to cost you a year or two or a couple months or staying up late to make it work. Yep. And I promise you, some of these major organizations you see, major companies you see, they started out just like you with an idea and they decided to work a little harder than you did.
That is amazing advice. Is there any last thing you would want to say to a nonprofit that has been doing their mission for a long time and they're just coming burned out and they're like, man, I don't think I want to do this anymore? What quick encouragement would you give them?
I go through those same things. People will see our program and think I'm just doing good all the time. I literally, January, I was like, you know what? It's probably time to shut the program down for now. I can't keep up right now. It's a lot going on, etc. And while I was thinking about that, I still kept going. But then we had a random donor come in like, hey, we want to give XYZ to fund the program for the rest of the year. So again, keep the work ethic. You never know who's watching. And on top of that, you can control who's watching. All these people that you see are right at your fingertips. And it's on your phone. Those people you want to network with are on your phone. Elon, Trump, Biden, I don't care. They all utilize social media. Yep. They can see what it is that you're doing. The NBA players, the NFL players can see what you're doing. But it's up to you to want to reach them. And you got to make it worth their while to see what it is that you're doing and want to support it. Yeah. So, for those people, who have those nonprofits and their ends, think about what it is that you're doing. And for one, is it important enough to you? And have you truly swallowed your ego and said, I don't know enough and I need to know more? That's something to think about, because, again, we will get complacent and think we know it all and don't want the help. We don't want the advice. We think we know it all. And since people aren't supporting, I'm going to shut it down because they just should be supporting. Yeah. No, they shouldn't. Why should they? Yep. Show them why they should be supporting your organization. We can't just wake up and think, some people do this. They'll be like, oh, I'm going to start a nonprofit to feed kids today and it's just going to be this great thing. It's a whole bunch of nonprofits like yours. Why should they support yours? Yep. Whatever. So you have to give them the why, give them the reason. and make relationships with people. That's very important for nonprofits. And again, like I said, you get a $5,000 grant, spend $4,000 of it on marketing. I promise it will pay off. You just got to take the right marketing class or whatever like that, or even not a class. Get on YouTube University and figure out what's the best way to market whatever nonprofit you're doing. Find other nonprofits in other areas that are like yours, that are popular on socials, TikTok, or whatever, and see what it is that they're doing and try it out. And I promise you it'll work. It'll work out every time.
Thanks, dude.
I appreciate
it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the 1334 Media Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I just want to remind you that everything we do as 1334 is because of donors like you. So thank you for your support.